Hello there, and welcome to the Last Time Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz. Let us know tomorrow. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host. No, I almost had it. My co-host
It's
John.
it's been a while. It's been a
It
while.
has. It's been a
Yes.
couple of weeks for us.
Yes. Hello
How are
there.
you? Hello
Yeah.
there, General
Uh,
Kenobi.
the general kind of I'm doing great. Just excited to be on the podcast again. Just
Finally
talk about the
relaxed.
news. Yeah, just gonna talk all that stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and yeah.
We definitely do. Just talking about all that good stuff in the sweltering heat as well. It's so hot at the moment, which is
Yes.
amazing.
Yes, summer. Yes. It's
Oh
like
boy.
I saw a post on Instagram, like there was like a bunch of people protesting, and then one of the signs said, um, when it's over 20 degrees or something, oh, it's hot here. Like it's from Friday Night Dinner.
Mm.
Like what's his name? The actor who
Martin.
died. Yeah, he's like he takes off his shirt for no reason in Friday Night. He's like, oh, it's hot here.
Oh, it's scorching. Oh yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
it's like
love
that.
him.
It's like that. I was in London, and that was kind of a bit hard because I was walking around in this garden, this Kew garden,
Mm.
um, and it was very hot.
Oh.
But even though it's weird because I wore like a jumper and trousers and everything in Boston and New York, and my
Mm.
family was like, "John, how are you not hot?" I'm like, "Because Batman." No, I didn't. I just didn't say I was Batman, but
No, I know
yeah,
what you mean. Sometimes like wearing long clothes can be like quite refreshing in the heat. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
yes, we're just like a lot of people just like,
We're
how can you do
madmen.
this? I'm like, it's shut up, dog. Sorry, there's a dog.
Oh God damn it. I hear that. I hear the dog very, very quietly. So today we're going to be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon, latest Disney release, just come on Disney Plus and in cinemas in
Yes,
the UK. And we'll be talking about episode 5 and 6 of The Bad Batch. We didn't talk about episode 5 last week, so we're going to be doing it this week. And of course, we've got loads of news and viewing and all the stuffs. So, jump around in the time codes and the description, and we'll get it started with we got an Eternals trailer, our very first proper trailer for the Eternals. Obviously, we got like a first kind
yes.
of look, but this is a full trailer. What did you think?
This looks very very interesting because
Mm,
it looks brand new and refreshing to see because I feel like with all the other Marvel trailers except Shang-Chi, they look a bit oversaturated. But this looks, refreshing to see, like different casts, people like different actors, and you know, I I really don't know what the Eternals are, and
no, I don't know anything about them really.
yeah, because this I'm just like, oh right, this is going to be interesting. So I'm very interested to see what Chloe Zhao, yeah,
Yeah.
the director of Nomadland, who is directing this, and this looks really good.
Well, we
Yeah,
spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. We discussed the first kind of brief look that we got of the film, and immediately Chloe Zhao is bringing some amazing cinematography. The visuals here are so intriguing. Obviously it's not all CGI. We're getting so many new sets and locations, and the lighting and the all the elements of mise en scène are coming together in what I think this doesn't look like a Marvel film, and I love it. Like it doesn't
yeah,
look like what we've come to expect in the same sort of way as Guardians of the Galaxy came onto the scene in 2014 and was just like totally new. This feels totally new, and that
yeah,
is exciting.
yeah. I like that. Like different directors doing everything as well. So I'm very, very looking forward to this because it's going to be refreshing and it's going to be focused on the aftermath of the death of Tony Stark and
Mm.
the disappearance of Captain America.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
I'm
that
very
is interesting, but I think I'm more excited because obviously they kind of talk about how the Eternals have been on the planet for a while. I think I'm more excited about, going into the past, exploring what this universe looked like in the, times before technology, because the kind of the earliest we've gone. unless you count flashbacks in the Thor films, the earliest we've gone is kind of like the 1930s. So I
Yeah,
think I would really like the opportunity to explore some, like medieval stuff. That sounds like a really interesting prospect.
yeah, and see like how they developed uh like throughout the Marvel years, like from World War One to present day, no World War Two, yeah, to all of that, and see, you know, did they do anything or they just stayed there, just like,
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
yes,
we
we shall
need
cover
an
Paris.
excuse because, like, they already did Captain Marvel, where it's like, oh, why did Nick Fury call Captain Marvel, any time before Infinity War? And it's like, I feel like we really need a good excuse as to why, the Eternals didn't like intervene in any of the Avengers
Yeah,
conflicts,
yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I bet it's gonna be an interesting excuse, maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the future of Marvel is bright.
yes,
Like,
very bright.
I'm not that excited for Black Widow or Loki, to be honest. But everything after that, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Doctor Strange,
Yeah,
Thor, all that stuff is so much more intriguing to me. And it just feels like we're going in new directions and giving, creators more kind of time to express themselves. And I think that is just it's such a cool concept. And I'm really excited.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited for it as well. So, yeah, the future of Marvel's bright. Yeah, we'll see
It
what's
definitely is.
coming. Yes.
But another trailer that we got this week was our long-awaited trailer for
Oh,
Edgar
yes.
Wright's new film, Last Night in Soho. So his sixth film. I am this. Oh my God, this looks awesome. This
Yeah,
looks.
this
What did you
looks
think?
great. This is totally new because if anyone who is a Cornetto trilogy fan or
Mm,
all the other films they made like Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver,
mm.
and all of that jazz,
Space.
and yeah, space, and this. Oh my God, this is just so weird to watch, but also just like wow, he's making this. Like it just looks not Edgar Wright, but also it's a horror film. So
Yeah, this is unlike anything that you've ever seen him kind of tackle before. Obviously, this is just like the trailer, but you've got, what seems to be a much darker tone, a much more somber feel, but it has some really interesting, like the editing in this trailer alone. There's a specific scene, I guess the trailer kind of insinuates that Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie's characters are one and the same in some capacity. And there is a shot in this trailer where it's Matt Smith dancing with Anya Taylor-Joy, and she kind of spins around and becomes Thomasin McKenzie in one shot. Do you know what I
that
mean?
that
That's
that looks yeah,
it's
that's cool.
insane. How is that even a thing? I don't even know. That's incredible. And I
I
think what I love
wow.
the most about Edgar Wright is his editing. I think his editing is on point
Yes.
in every
Yes.
single one of his films. And I
Yes.
do want to see how it progresses.
Hot Fuzz is a great example of his editing because like it's so quick, but also it's like gives us like a smooth transition to scene, and it's
Mm.
great.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
way that he does these kind of like whip pans are like really just that it just sounds so cool.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to this. When is it coming out? Like October?
Yeah, this is October 20 something. Let me have a look. I've lost it, John. It's gone.
Oh no.
It's
Oh
gone
no.
forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, no,
But
it's so in the UK, it's October 29th.
right.
So just
Okay.
actually a week after the French Dispatch is supposed to be coming out, which is the next Wes Anderson film. So that's two amazing directors with their next films within the week of each other.
Yeah. So that just looks nothing what Edgar Wright like possibly can imagine. But this it just looks like a very good horror film.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm very, very looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think each film that he's done, you know, they've all had, this connection of action and comedy. They're all really funny, and they all have, some great action in them. So the thing about this one is it doesn't look like it's going for the laugh. It doesn't look like it's going for the action. It looks like it's going purely for the horror and the spectacle of it. And I think it's just so fun to see directors kind of
Yeah,
try
and
to
it has
look
a
at
really
different
cool,
things.
yeah, it has a really cool concept that
Mm,
is shown in the thing, and it just looks insane. So yeah, yeah,
definitely.
I'm down for it. Yeah, yeah,
Me
yeah.
too. Me too. I cannot wait. Now, I guess this next piece kind of like goes into the business side of filmmaking. Amazon has actually bought MGM, obviously the big studio, for 8.45 billion dollars, and in doing so, Amazon now have acquired the rights to James Bond, Lord of the Rings, Tomb Raider, and loads of other franchises. So many different kind of characters and such. So with this, obviously, we already have the Amazon Lord of the Rings show that we talked about last week, but we have a whole load of prospects for the future, which Amazon now has control of. So what do you think about this? Obviously, we've got, as I say, we've got a new James Bond film, we've got a Lord of the Rings show, but now Amazon has control over all of this. So what do you think about that?
That's crazy. Like MGM, who have been like at the very start of cinema.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were one of the five original
yeah,
studios, I believe.
yeah, they got Buster Keaton, they got
Mm.
all the other famous directors and actors as well. And this, and now Amazon has picked MGN. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do with the company. So yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do with Amazon. You know, how they're gonna, are they gonna make more films, or are they just gonna add them to Amazon? So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I think this increases the appeal of Prime. I think, obviously Prime's got loads of really good originals, so I think that they can do some really cool stuff with this. But I mean, I guess the big thing on my mind is what are they going to do with Bond? Bond, No Time to Die will be the 25th Bond film, Daniel Craig's final film. It's been going for decades and decades, and people are still really interested. People still kind of flock to the cinema, and when you get a good Bond film, everyone really kind of enjoys it. So I'm kind of wondering where do they go next? Are they gonna, you know, reboot it again? Are they going to continue the same continuity? Are they going to introduce a female 007? Are they going to do spin-offs? That's what's most interesting to me at the moment.
yeah, yeah. That's that's interesting. So yeah, we're doing it for Prime and seeing how that works. So are they going to try to? I think it's going to attract customers, maybe. So
Oh,
yeah,
I agree. I think at the
yeah,
end of the day, it's going to be, Warner Brothers, Disney, and Amazon as like the three big kind of like providers of entertainment. Maybe Netflix as well. But I think, these big companies are continuously swallowing up smaller brands. And I guess one day it will just be one, only one can rule. Who will it? I think it could be Amazon. Who knows?
yeah. Amazon, they're doing a lot of stuff right now, like the Lord of the Rings. Oh
I'm
my
so
God, they're
excited for
doing the
that.
Lord of the Rings. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to that as well.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now, not Amazon, but Sony have cast Kraven the Hunter in their film that's going to be coming out in 2023. And they have cast Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is no stranger to the superhero genre. He played Kick-Ass. He played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. And so he will be taking up the reins of Kraven the Hunter. So obviously this is one of the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters films, or Spunk, as people like to call it. Um,
Wait, what?
the SPUMC, Spunk.
I've never heard that abbreviation before.
What? No,
Um,
you must have.
wait, I've never. I don't. Well, the way that you said it, I can't even recall anything. But if I see it on like on words or something like, oh
So
right,
this is
okay, but I
this
don't.
is this is the name that they're using for like Venom and Morbius and all these films they're planning to make. So I think they're going to do like Silk, maybe Silver Sable, Black Cat. They're kind of building their own kind of corner of the Spider-Verse. And yeah, so the next film that's coming is Kraven the Hunter. Well, not the next film, but one of the films that is coming is Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson. So what do you think of this film? What do you think of this casting? What are your thoughts?
This, I don't know because like we know, Taylor Johnson's been in a lot of superhero stuff, but this Kraven the Hunter, this is going to be like a very serious role. And this to you as well, like there's a graphic novel with Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter. Are they going to do that? Maybe, possibly, but
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
So
I remember it. Obviously, now we know that Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be multiverse and all of that. But when I remember as soon as I came out of Far From Home, and obviously the big spoilers, the big kind of reveal that everyone knows Peter Parker's identity, my first thought was, oh my God, I really hope they do Kraven's Last Hunt. And I think that is the definitive Kraven the Hunter story. Kraven, if you haven't read the comic, you really should. And I won't spoil it, but it's Kraven, kind of at the end of the line, kind of thinking, I'm gonna probably go after Spider-Man, and the events that unfold, are, it's the perfect setup for a film, I think. And I don't know if they would do that in a Kraven the Hunter film or in a Spider-Man film. Maybe they want to set up Kraven then use him later on. But also, are they setting up the Sinister Six here? You could have a Sinister Six that consists of Vulture, Mysterio, Kraven, Venom, Morbius, I don't know, Shocker. Like, they have obviously, since Amazing Spider-Man 2, Sony have wanted to do a Sinister Six, something, with even a Sinister Six film planned at one point. So this could be building towards something. Who knows?
Yeah, this is going to be. Yeah. I'm intrigued and see what
Me
they're
too.
doing. But Spider-Man 3, I'm still not looking forward to it because it's gonna ruin some character developments, character arcs. It's gonna be a little bit cluttered.
It sounds dangerous. However,
dangerous.
I'm excited to rewatch the Spider-Man films because we'll
Really?
we'll definitely rewatch the Spider-Man films for the podcast. We'll do
Yeah.
all 7 of them, the Raimi films, the Amazing Spider-Man films, the MCU films, and I gotta say I'm excited. You'll hear in the viewing I've been watching some Spider-Man this week, and I'm so excited.
Ooh, right,
films.
yeah.
Here's a little tease for the viewing later on.
Ooh, yeah, I gotta watch those again. Recently, like in April or March, I don't know. I watched the whole, like the most important MCU films with my sister, and she was like, "Yeah, this is great. This is great. Yes, yes." And I introduced her to DC EU, and she was like,
"Ew." Yeah. Oh God. I haven't watched a Marvel film in so long. Obviously, there's been the Marvel shows and stuff, but like I find myself wanting to watch them, but like knowing that I'll get tired, like when I watched the X-Men films, I did get tired halfway through and was just like, it took me ages to fit in between Last Stand and the Wolverine to kind of pick it back up.
Yeah.
But so yeah, speaking of DC, we got our first look, and albeit a brief look, at the Michael Keaton Batman suit in The Flash. Have you seen this?
This.
Oh boy, go on, please.
I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions.
So for those of you who don't know, I'll make a note to put it on the to put it on the screen, but it's basically an image of the bat symbol with a blood splatter on it. Very similar, a lot of people have pointed out, to the blood splatter on the comedian's badge in Watchmen.
Yes, the smiley badge.
Yes.
Is that? Yeah, the smiley badge. And this, I'm wondering, they are going to do. Are they going to connect other universes?
They could do. They could do the button. They could go do Doomsday Clock-esque thing.
I think they could do the button and Flashpoint because this is a Flashpoint film,
It
remember?
is.
And the button, Batman and Flash, they are trying to investigate what the smiley button is. Where does it
Hmm.
come from? So
That is interesting. But also, I've seen a lot of people draw a comparison to a scene in the Flashpoint kind of comic where Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne, is like brutally beaten up by Reverse Flash. And obviously, this is a
yeah,
Flash film. Could this be that we get to see Reverse Flash? I mean, ages ago, there was loads of casting rumors, Michael Fassbender, loads of other people were kind of, rumored to be playing Eobard Thawne. And my burning question is, are we now going to see, you know, Thawne kill Barry's mother? Are we going to see that whole origin story? Are we going to see Thawne, go toe to toe with Batman? I mean, this is insane. Like this, like the prospects, this are incredible.
yeah, I just don't know what to say. It just sounds, from the look of that, it's just gonna be like, wow, this going to be a bit crazy because there's going to be other Batman in this
Batman,
film. Yeah,
yes. Affleck's
yes,
back,
yes,
and obviously,
yes.
if you watched our episode a couple weeks ago, we talked about 3 weeks ago. That's mad. We talked about our favorite comic book costumes, and we did discuss Batman costumes. And I didn't say it in the video, but I do love the Batman Returns suit. It's a really, really it's a I love the Batman 89 suit, but the Batman Returns one is a refinement of that. It's sleeker. It's wonderful, and I like the idea that we're going to see it again. It might be different. I don't know, but I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah. So, I'm just looking at it now. It's just like, oh, like
Yeah.
the suit. It's just like, it's old, and I'm wondering if I don't know. It just looks really cool. It just looks
It
really good.
does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Andy Muschietti has been, he directed the like It films, and so like he has a horror background. So I'm wondering, will we get to see some of his kind of horror stuff come to fruition in here? A lot of DC directors have done horror things before. James Wan specifically brought
Yeah.
a horror kind of sequence to Aquaman with the trench and all that. So that is just so many prospects, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm just comparing to the thing. It is quite similar. Yeah, very similar to the blood spatter. Yeah, on the badge.
Hmm.
Yeah, with Andy. Andy, is it Andy? Is it Andy?
Andy Muschietti, I think.
Yeah, Muschietti. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, I was watching like the kill count for the It films,
Mm.
and then the guy who what there's a channel called Dead Meat, and
Hmm.
they go all the stuff in horror films. And as a fan of not watching horror films, this is really interesting to watch because I'm I'm very intrigued what horror films do, or what what the conventions are. But this guy, James A. Denise, he goes through everything. He goes through the producing. He goes through like the makeup and prosthetics, and he goes through the directors. They go through like what they do, and like they go through interviews, and it's just so informative. And it was really interesting to learn about like Andy Muschietti in the It films, like how he was he inspired by how to film it. And he was just like, yeah, I'm a massive fan of Stephen King's book. So I'm very, very intrigued of how he's going to do like a transition from horror to sci-fi or fantasy, comic book. So
Yeah.
yeah, this just looks interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And another, our final piece of news, which is another comic book thing, we've got some casting for Spider-Verse 2. So Issa Rae, who was in The Hate You Give, has been cast as Spider-Woman. So Jessica Drew, sorry, another, incarnation of Spider-Man from the multiverse, confirming, that we are really kind of digging into the meat of the multiverse here. We're not just getting more spider people, but we're kind of exploring because Jessica Drew has had a lot of kind of origins in the comics. So maybe we're going to see like multiple iterations of her. You know, Spider-Verse. I think this film's slated for December next year. So what are you thinking of this?
Yes, yeah, I'm glad about this because we didn't, we haven't seen like a Spider Woman, in any of the Spider-Man stuff. What I mean,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we've had obviously we had Spider Gwen and we had Penny Parker,
yeah,
but we
yeah,
haven't had exactly like a mirror image of Peter Parker in the same way that Spider-Man, Peter B. Parker, and Spider-Man and Miles universe were like in a way like so similar. And I think Jessica Drew is that kind of bridge, whereas the other are more radical differences. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And there's other people that were like speculating that what if they're gonna tribute to the '60s voice actor, so
Mm.
of Spider Woman apparently. So
Well,
yeah,
they've already in the post-credit scene of Spider-Verse, they did do that kind of whole, two Spider-Man meme. They kind of did a little throwback to that. And obviously we do have Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099. So I wonder whether this film the plot will revolve around, Miguel O'Hara kind of looking through the multiverse for all the different spider people, as hinted at by the end credit scene of the first film. That would be really cool, I think.
yeah. I'm maybe Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man maybe like go through different multiverses, to pick different Spider-Man to be suited for something. This is gonna be really, really cool, maybe, but I don't know. So yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, anything is possible in the Spider-Verse.
In Spider-Verse. Yes.
Definitely. So that's the news. And without further ado, let's move on to a Bad Batch episode 5. So in this episode, we kind of got to see the Batch taking on their first official mercenary mission, in which they had to rescue a child. What did you think of this episode?
Yeah, this is a good episode because you see the development of like Omega trying to work with the Bad Batch.
Mm.
Like she remembered the rules, and like there's a lot of character development. To see what she's doing. And yeah, uh, and another thing that really was surprising. What was the big creature that was
The
attacking them?
Rancor.
Yes, the Rancor. That Rancor looked a bit different, didn't it?
Well, it's a baby rancor. So I
Oh,
think
but
I think the idea this isn't official like canon because it has a different name to the rancor. But I think the idea is that the creators are kind of thinking that's the same rancor that Luke encounters at Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. Obviously
yeah,
that rancor is a lot bigger because it's a lot older, and obviously you got to see Bib Fortuna at the end. I really like the idea of the different they kind of they're seeing a new perspective. The girl that they the child they're trying to save isn't like this helpless girl. It's actually like a big scary rancor. They aren't soldiers anymore. They are now mercenaries, and they have to kind of abide by a whole different set of rules. And that's that's an interesting prospect because this show is about them kind of adapting to survive in this new world. And you see that they aren't used to taking this kind of taking money for this kind of job, and not exactly playing it as you would in the Clone Wars. And I agree with you, seeing Omega kind of learn, maybe sometimes learning the wrong lessons is interesting, in a similar way to, again, similar way to the Mandalorian. Grogu might be learning the wrong lessons of becoming a bit more violent than you would kind of hope him to be.
yeah. I mostly forgot about what happened in the episode, but I do
Oh, yeah,
remember
me too.
that. Yeah, I haven't seen the episode like a week ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
a week ago. Yeah. But what else? We got introduced by Sid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Sid.
when when they when they introduced Sid, I just remembered, in Toy Story when Wood and Buzz and
What did
Woody. Well, when Buzz and Bud and Wuzzy, but
Budden was it?
when
Yeah, yeah,
when Buzz and Woody, I'm not saying that one more time. When they're inside the crane thing in
yeah.
Pizza Planet, and Woody just says, "Oh no, it's Sid." I just imagine that, like, when they see Sid for the first time. That was too much to get through that just for that little joke. Oh
Sid.
lordy. Oh, it's Sid. But yeah,
But
so it's really interesting to see, like, again, other corners of the galaxy. Ord Mantell was referenced all the way back in Empire Strikes Back at the beginning. It's just interesting to see, like, these different corners of the galaxy that we haven't seen even in Clone Wars.
yeah, um, yeah. What else? It's gonna be interesting because we know this week episode. They're trying to cooperate with Sid, and we'll get that to them in a bit. I can't remember what really exactly happened last week.
No,
We know that.
the thing is, whenever it's like about the Empire and the Empire taking control, it's a lot more memorable and it's a lot more interesting to me. But these other episodes, they are developing the characters and all that, but it's not half as intriguing, in my opinion.
Mm, yeah.
Definitely. I
Um,
think what is interesting though is Sid knows something's up with the Bad Batch. They know that they're running away. So I wonder if Sid will betray them at some point, because I think
yeah.
that feels like that's in the nature of their character.
Yeah. I thought the episode was a bit action packed, but there was not a lot of stuff that was memorable.
Yeah, it
Um,
feels like the week before. Fennec Shand is cool and some cool stuff, but it is a lot of action. You're getting mostly action, not as much kind of character. There are obviously small moments, but I would like more. I'm not gonna lie, and longer episodes as well. I feel like you give longer episodes, you could just expand on what we already have.
yeah, but I thought this is a good episode to see, Omega shine, helping the Bad Batch,
Oh, definitely.
Wait, yeah, yeah,
When's she
yeah.
gonna get on? Now I know they're not in Camino anymore, but she needs armor, man. She's just a child in a war
She's
zone.
helpless. She can't
She's
do anything. She's like, hello there. And then she can't do anything. Now she's
she's
got a bow and arrow. And I'm
she's just
like,
wearing like a little tunic. It's like you gotta, like, give her a helmet or something, Like, who cares? Just like,
the Bad Batch has got like bulletproof everything. Not bulletproof, laserproof everything. Just like, yeah. And
yeah,
then
they got the
Omega's like,
coolest, like, all like
no.
individual, and she's there in her little like coat, like, just in a battlefield, like, oh, tick, like, what's happening? Come on, they gotta look out for her a little bit
Yeah.
more. And hey, Sid does have some like clone armor in her like office, so maybe she will get a suit. Maybe I
Maybe.
think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know what to talk about this episode. I just
Well, let's move on to this week's episode, which
yeah.
I
I have a
believe
lot more
was,
to talk about that.
what was
Yeah.
this is called, Decommissioned, I think.
Decommission.
Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
immediately, I just want to say that we got to see Trace and Rafa, who were in season 7 of the Clone Wars. They were part of the Ahsoka arc. Fans hated them. So I am very surprised.
Really?
Yeah, fans hate these characters, man. To be fair, that Ahsoka arc wasn't the best, especially for the final season of the Clone Wars. But, like, it's interesting to see them back. I think that's cool. So yeah, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Okay, so I really like that the bow droids were used again because
Yeah.
this place was like to get rid of droids,
Mm.
and we didn't actually know what happened to the droids, but now we do because
Mm.
like they're being destroyed. And I'm glad there's like the Bad Batch because we can see that transition to like the new like the Senate to the Empire. You can see that,
Yeah.
and because I feel like if you just watch like episode 3 and 4 in one go, you're like, what the heck? Everything just changed because
Yeah,
it's drastically changed. But at least you have some background that like what we happened with the bow droids.
definitely.
I
Like
appreciate that. Yeah.
all we knew was that Anakin shut off, or sorry, Vader shut off the battle droid production. But like, was that it? Did they? Because obviously in Rebels, you do see some battle droids survived. So it's interesting to see that actually the battle droids were immediately kind of scrapped. Corellia, as we see in Solo, Corellia is where Han comes from, and is where a lot of the Star Destroyers and AT-ATs and ships are made. And I think interesting that they're kind of scrapping the droids and really going hard on this kind of new order, not even using the battle droids for simple purposes. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I think the question that hangs in the balance now is why did they need the tactical droids kind of head?
yes.
Why are so many different people after it? Obviously, the big question is who is Trace and Rafa working with at the end?
Yes.
Who is
Who were?
it?
I don't know. It could be. We know it's not. The other. It can't be. Darth. Not Darth. Maul. Why Darth Maul? No, it's Darth Sidious. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I don't think it's him because otherwise, he'd have the access to that. What
Yeah.
it was interesting
Yeah.
is the droid they have this droid, and he was also in season 7 of Clone Wars, and Ahsoka has it in the final episode. So I'm thinking they've definitely spoke to Ahsoka, they've definitely spoken to Ahsoka again, hence why they have that droid. Is the person Ahsoka? It could be. Dave
Could
Filoni
be.
loves having Ahsoka in his stuff. Could be Bail Organa. He's around. Mon Mothma. Any of those kind of early rebellion kind of leaders. Saw Gerrera. It's interesting, the Bad Batch are going to have a bigger role in the future. Like they're going to become part of something. It feels similar to Rebels, where maybe the Bad Batch will kind of start to properly rebel and be part of this rebellion. Oh, hey, it could be Rex. I think that's coming at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I wonder what they're gonna work. Who they're gonna work for, because what you said, that they work for Ahsoka in season 7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering uh why they would use Bow Droid for something else. So that's going to be interesting. And she said,
Mm.
there's this group, and but you're interested in them. They did say that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
Yeah.
loads of already, as we saw in episode 1 and 3. There's already a lot of rebel cells kind of rising. You've got Saw Gerrera's cell. Others ramping up. So I think that's really interesting that's going to happen. And also, we did get that big. Obviously, there's been this kind of ongoing thing where Wrecker's had his head hurt. But now we got this huge moment where Wrecker properly bangs his head, and in doing so, his chip begins to activate. And it was like I was having fun. The episode was, I was kind of like laughing along and stuff and being like, oh, this is quite cool. Yeah, it's fun, all that. Trace and Rafa are here. And then like as soon as like Wrecker started like saying good soldiers follow orders, I was like, oh no. Oh god, this is bad. Wrecker's such a lovable buffoon. He's such a kind of nice character that seeing him, he could really be a terrifying force to reckon with. And seeing that he is kind of starting to snap is pretty scary. Like what would he do? He has so much kind of weight in the batch that he could do loads of like terrifying things. John's gone. You've muted yourself. Hello.
Mute. Wait, was I muted the whole time?
You muted the whole time.
No.
Sorry. Okay, just repeat your thoughts.
Right, I'm a bit scared about next week's episode because I'm wondering what Raka is going to do, and America's trying to say no, please don't. It's going to be a bit.
It's coming up.
Yeah, depression's going to hit hard. Raka's going to. Yeah, I'm a bit scared next week's episode.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping Raka will fight this, but he's going to turn. He's going to turn.
I agree. Well, we've got pretty much, we're coming up on our mid-season point, 16 episodes. We're coming up on episode 8. I think there'll be something big kind of in the middle of the season. We haven't seen Crosshair for 3 episodes. Haven't seen Fennec Shan for a little bit. I wonder, will this all culminate into one episode where, Crossbones finds the Crosshair. I'm going into Marvel territory here. Crosshair finds the Bad Batch. Fennec Shan tracks them down. Whoever Trace and Rafa are working with maybe tracks them down. Maybe Sid betrays them. Wrecker's chip activates. I think maybe this could happen in some sort of longer episode.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit scared. But yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see next week's episode.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about Ryan last? Oh, you got something else there?
Should we rate the 2 episodes so far?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, go on. I'll need to think about it. Tell me your ratings.
Okay, so the episode that we didn't talk about much, I'm gonna give that a 6.
Yeah, I think I agree. I wouldn't call any of these episodes bad, but it's just forgettable. Not much happens,
But at least we saw some character development in that one. And then this week's episode, I want to give it an 7 or 8. I feel like that.
I agree. I still think episode 1 is my favorite. I think I'd say episode 1 is my favorite. Episode 5 is probably my least favorite. Episode 6 is somewhere in the middle,
Yeah. It's I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more to it, but I feel like when Wrecker turns, I think this is where the season, will turn things around.
Yeah, I agree. So next week is actually going to be our last week talking about the Bad Batch weekly, because Loki starts. So next week we're gonna do episode 7, and Loki is our main segment, and then we're gonna do Loki every week, and then we'll come back in late August, and we'll talk about the rest of Bad Batch season 1 then.
Yeah, I'm pretty looking forward to it. Yeah,
me too. So let's move on to Raya and Last Dragon, shall we?
Oh yes, let's move on to that.
Before we talk about Raya and Last Dragon, I just want to talk about the short film that played before it, Us Again. Did you watch this?
Yes, I did.
So when I was at the cinema watching this, and I was with a friend. Obviously, like, this always happens when you watch Disney film. You always get those little shorts, and obviously we were like, "Oh, is this the wrong film?" And then we realized. And I just want to say, this was such a beautiful short.
Yeah,
I really thought this was like so moving, about kind of like remembering your youth and kind of like wanting to hold on to it and not feeling any kind of purpose, when you're older. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I really like this one. It's just, it was wholesome. Like this guy who's very old and he wants to go back to like
he wants to party.
Yeah, he wants to party. He wants to go to that golden age of like jazz, jazz dancing, and it's just quite hard. It's he's trying to stay in the rain, and I really like that reference because he's dancing in the rain, and that's a reference to singing in the rain because like there's a lot of people who are very happy to sing in the rain or dance in the rain. So I really like that reference. I think that's a reference. Yeah. yeah, yeah. I really like that one. And I really like the animation. Like it was dancing, and it didn't felt like too complex to follow. But you can follow what like the dancing emotion, how they feel, and you
Well, there's not
know,
even any dialogue, which is, always a bonus. You tell so much without even saying a single word.
yes, a bonus. Yes, no
Absolute,
dialogue.
it's cinema
Yes, yes, Wally. I'll
at
tell
its
you that.
finest. Ah, well,
That
Wally, I mean, come on. What a film.
Wally. That's a that's cinema right there. Animation and music together. Oh, yes,
So
yes,
good.
yes,
Absolutely
yes.
incredible. So let's dig into the meat of it, shall we? Let's talk about Ryan the Last Dragon. We've talked about the trailers before. I was really excited for this, though it looked awesome. What do you think?
Yeah. I thought this was a good film to watch. Great. It's great to watch actually. Yeah. I was a bit worried at the beginning of the film, but
Mm.
then it progressed better
The
along the.
beginning of this film did that thing that I hate, where it spent like 5 minutes telling us everything we need to know about the world, all the mechanics, and then the prologue of the film repeats all of that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I was
yeah,
just like, I know this already. Like, just pick one. Like, either tell us in a narration or like tell us via the plot.
yeah. Um, yeah. I felt like the dialogue. I have to be nitpicky about the dialogue. I
Yeah.
felt the dialogue was a bit ramrod like. It was not. It wasn't that good, but this is a children's film, so
Yeah,
I
you got to kind of let that go, I guess.
yeah, you kind of have to let that go. But I felt like having the dialogue, it was a bit repetitive.
Mm.
It was this and that, but overall, the film was great. I really liked the animation.
Oh,
And
the animation was beautiful. I think
yeah,
immediately
the
that's what
animation.
stands out.
Yeah, the mise en scène. Oh, the mise en scène. I realized it.
So
Like
good.
in different locations,
Yeah.
spine, um,
Heart.
fang.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Jib,
I,
jib, 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 jib,
Heart.
jib.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple others too, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's covered.
each different kind of like kingdom has its own different kind of unique aesthetic, and I really enjoyed that you got to see them. Like Disney is so good at doing water. You got loads of really cool water action. You got like some sand in there, some kind of like jungle areas, a bit of mountainous regions, and some snow. It's really cool to see different like action set pieces and just different kind of like opportunities for both the visuals and the score to kind of explore different places.
Yeah. And uh and wait, I really like the character designs as well. Just
Mm.
felt like it really fit into into the film. Especially Sisu, the dragon.
Mm.
So yeah,
Sisu was an interesting one. Um, I think. Ooh, I think she was a character who I liked her half of the time.
yes,
She had this nice
I
little
agree. I agree. Yeah,
yeah, she had
yeah,
this nice little kind of like wide-eyed wonder about her, which was cool. But I feel like sometimes it got on my nerves so much. It was like, okay, I get it. You're excited. You're happy, and you're a little bit, um, you're not stupid, but you're a little bit, again, wide-eyed. You don't really know, the kind of the norm, but she's pretty stupid. Um,
yeah, yeah,
I did feel like there's so many conflicts that are just, base level. You've already got a conflict here. The main conflicts of getting the different parts of this orb. That is the conflict. You don't have to add in Sisu being stupid, into the mix because that just kind of muddies it all up a little bit.
yeah,
And yet, at the end of the day, it's necessary to kind of come up with some of the side characters. It kind of you need some of those moments to build up the main cast, but I
yeah.
think at the
Like
same time
yeah, and I really like the there was some really good character developments, but I wish there was a a lot more to expand upon because I
Mm.
felt like it was a bit short, especially with Raya and I need to find the name of
The villain.
uh what sorry what
The villain.
yeah the villain I
Hmm.
forgot the name.
I
Right, let me
definitely
just
agree. I think there was a really nice emotional core to the film. A story of friendship that then becomes kind of like
Namari.
Namari, right? So like their relationship kind of starts off well, and then it kind of turns. And I think there's an interesting story that they try to tell about redemption, and it doesn't really work. They could have gone so
Yeah,
much harder, but they didn't. And I think the relationship between Raya and her father, between Raya and Sisu, but I feel like with Namari, it was almost there. In some moments it really made it. Where Namari sees, spoilers by the way. I don't think we said that up top, but when Namari kind of first sees Sisu, she gets this kind of new perspective that almost changes her mind. And I think what's interesting is Raya is a as a character is so flawed that she messes it up. It could have gone so easily, but she ruins it for herself by not trusting Namari and therefore getting Sisu killed.
yeah,
And there's so
yeah,
much interesting prospects for development, but they didn't really go with that as much as I would have liked.
yeah. I'm just looking at the cast members.
It's a good cast. I'll definitely say that.
So I was surprised by this. Verana, the woman, the mother of Namari,
Yeah.
that's voiced by Sandra Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, Invincible Zone. Brilliant.
wow, she's doing a lot of voice acting.
She's everywhere. She plays every
Yeah,
single role.
yeah. I'm glad for that. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember his name, but the big the brute, I guess, who they
Oh
find.
yeah.
That's Benedict Wong.
Oh yeah. What? That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's great, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I can see it now. I can hear his
And
voice. Oh
it's a definite after everything that Kelly Marie Tran went through. Yeah, after Last Jedi,
yeah.
after everything with Star Wars, which was horrible. Everyone treated her so
Oh,
horribly.
she went
Rise
through
of
hell. She
Skywalker
went through.
was the nail in the coffin. They did her character so dirty. I'm so glad that she now has got her chance to lead a film. She really, she's such a good actress, and she really sold
She
me
is.
on
She
Raya.
is. She is. She is. And she
Loved
didn't.
her.
She doesn't deserve the hate
No,
for
not at all.
for the character. It's Disney's fault. They did everything for that
It's all
character.
Disney's fault.
Yes, blame it on Disney, not your knee. Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Again, I agree about like Kelly getting the lead, and this is her time to shine, and I'm hoping that she'll be in more films because she's a wonderful actress.
She
So
really is. I
yeah,
agree. There were so many moments with her, quiet moments. Specifically when her and all the rest of the characters, they kind of mourn the losses of the people in their lives, whether it be their parents or their family or blah blah blah. Like there were just some really really lovely quiet. There's an amazing moment I thought where they all put flowers in the water as a kind of a way to commemorate those who have passed. And that was just so heartwarming and a moment in the film when I was really like, this film could really hit me like incredibly hard if it used these, scenes more to its advantage and less of the baby. The baby, I didn't like the baby, John. I didn't
oh
like
the
the
baby.
baby.
Let's go. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't like the baby, but the monkey. Monkey.
Ah, monkey.
Monkey.
Um,
Monkey.
well, I think all of the side characters are cute for a little bit, but they all kind of get a bit too much time to be stupid, like in Goofy. Again, kids'
Apart
film.
apart from apart from Tong, you gotta appreciate Tong.
Which one was Tonk?
Benedict Wong.
Oh, love Tonk. Come on,
Come on,
let's
come on.
we're
He's a
not
wholesome
having
guy.
we're not having any slander towards Tonk over here.
Come on.
But
Tong's
yeah,
a
he
great
was very
character.
wholesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
who was wholesome? Is it? Well, what's the name of the of her little
Tuk
pet?
Tuk.
Tuk Tuk.
Oh my
Tuk
god.
Tuk
Oh
was so
yeah, by
cute.
the way, Tuk Tuk was voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah,
No way.
right. I'll show you now. I'm gonna send you a message to it. I'm
What?
gonna send you a message. Yeah, this
Alan
this
Alan Tudyk is in everything, and it's
yeah
so strange.
yeah
Oh my god,
yeah
that man. So he was obviously in what do you call it? Rogue One,
yes.
as K2SO, and he's in so much. His voice acting is like, and he played Tuk Tuk. Tuk Tuk was so cute.
Oh yeah. He
Always
he
kind
was
of
he was from Wreck It Ralph. No way. Oh, he was a
yeah.
robot, an iRobot.
He
Huh.
play he was in Wreck-It Ralph 2 as the thing. He was in Big Hero 6 and Zootropolis. He's in everything, man. It's so weird.
He's
Like
in Deadpool too.
he's in Deadpool 2.
Who's he?
I feel like I remember him. Oh, was he a truck driver?
No, I what? Where?
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
cat.
yeah. When Cable comes to the future, he meets these two hillbillies,
Oh
and
yes,
one of them's Alan Tudyk,
yes.
and one of them's
And there
Matt
was Matt
Damon.
Damon. There was
Yeah.
Matt Damon. Oh my god.
Amazing. We are learning so much about Alan Tudyk's career right now.
Yeah, he's okay. He's like the mysterious person in Hollywood. You don't really know where he is,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's like the Stan Lee. He's like the Stan Lee of
He's the
like
Stan
film.
Lee. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah.
If Stan Lee totally blended in, no one knew it was him.
Oh,
But
yeah. Wow, that's an amazing discovery today. Wow,
yeah, we've
wow.
learned so much. I would have loved, again, it's just more of those quiet moments. If the film really emphasized the fact that Raya has lost her only kind of, only has Tuk Tuk left, then you can, have this idea of building a new family become a lot more I don't know, impactful. I feel like we talked about this when we talked about Soul. Soul was amazing, but the ending, you know, it was just kind of like the regular kind of fun and games, and it wasn't that, it didn't have the punch that it could have. I did really like the ending of this film though. The idea they all put their faith in Namari and they all kind of, give her the chance to save everything, and the way that kind of culminates in their sacrifices and the bringing back of the dragons. I loved the scene where all the dragons come back. That
Yeah,
was
that was a
so
really cool moment.
magical.
Yeah, and the soundtrack, I really like the soundtrack as well.
The soundtrack was wonderful. This is James Newton Howard, who
What?
did.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah,
Really?
it's James Newton.
No way.
I was sat in the cinema and I said to my friend, "Wait, just let's not leave yet. I need to see who did the music because I think it's James." And it was. So if anyone doesn't know, he did the Fantastic Beasts films. Absolutely wonderful scores for them. He co-wrote the music for the Dark Knight trilogy. I want to say he's worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, but he is like really, done some incredible work, and I loved his score in this film.
Yeah, the score, it's wonderful. Yeah, I did not know that was him doing
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow. And this is a very enjoyable film to watch. Apart from the dialogue, some weird side characters and weird stuff. I thought this is a very fun film to watch. Like the animation, the soundtrack, and I really like the character developments in this one. But I wish we can just get to see more of the characters. Like
Yeah, those
yeah,
small moments.
yeah, like to expand upon like the history. But I felt like the dialogue, again, it was repetitive, and
I feel like
sorry,
go on, go
the
on.
beginning, the beginning of the film was, I was a bit worried because I was like, oh no, is this gonna be, because the dialogue was like feeding us, it was spoon feeding us,
It was so expositional.
yeah, and I was like, okay, we get it, and and when the other clans or tribes came together to eat, and they found out where the gem was, they just all took it by themselves, and they just broke it. And I was like, what? you're stupid. You could have, talked about it, but
Yeah,
no.
that was something of the ending that I thought, the dragons are back. Raya is reunited with her dad. All the characters are reunited with their parents and their families. What I feel like the film tells us the whole time that the humans in nature are bad, and Cece's whole thing is that she doesn't believe that. She believes humans can be good. And as soon as the dragons come back and all the humans are restored, everyone comes together again. I feel like you've rewarded Raya. The dragons are back. She's got her family back. So is everyone else. I feel like then they shouldn't have had all the characters bring back together, because I feel like that was a bit too far for me. It was a step too much into the realm of, like perfect ending.
Yeah, and I wished that the I didn't know if the Sisu was dead, because I thought that could like boosted the character development for like Raya
Yeah.
and like Namari, and then they could have like a farewell to Sisu, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, that could be a
A
new film, but no,
bittersweet ending. They shouldn't have brought her back. I agree.
they
100%.
revived her back like when you trying to revive your friends on Halo.
Doesn't make any sense. The other dragons were killed by the mist. I can't remember what the mist is called. The other dragons were killed by the mist, so it makes sense that when the mist is fully defeated, they come back. It doesn't make sense as to why, Sisu, who was hit with an
Oh,
arrow.
the mist were called Drum.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't make sense that Sisu was hit with an arrow. She should just be dead, and that should still be a point of contentment where the characters have to, deal with what they did, and learn from their mistakes. But there wasn't that, and that was frustrating to me. They could
Yeah,
have not done that.
yeah. I kind of wish they'd done something to expand upon on Sisu. I felt like
Mm.
I want I wanted to have like Sisu to be a very important character, but then this whole thing, the whole theme of this film is trust,
Mm.
and again at the beginning of the film, the tribe, they don't trust each other, or the other tribes as well to
Yeah,
trust each other.
I feel like I feel like obviously the right message is that obviously people can be trusted, and I think the message they should have said is, trust is a process. If you establish at the end that, all right, yes, we are going to trust each other, but it's not that easy. You've got to kind of start building the blocks. You got to start building the bridge across. If you have Raya and Namari make up, even though they have still made that mistake, and even though Sisu is still dead, and then you can imply that they are going to build those bridges and not just, forget about it, or not just like immediately all be okay with it within the day. It was odd how quick the tribes were like, oh, we're back to life. All right, off to heart. Here we go. Let's go. Everyone, come on. Doesn't matter what you have to do. Let's character development or something.
Yeah, I felt like I wish they could, work on more of the characters. But anyway, yeah, I felt like the film was enjoyable to watch. Yeah,
Definitely. Action was great. I really enjoyed all the action scenes. Some great sword play in there.
yeah, and I really like that.
Mm.
Yeah, the fight scenes were great. The animation wasn't too jarring or anything like that, but I felt like it was like very, very cool to watch.
Mm.
This is a very good film, a very great film to watch. So
I agree.
yeah,
So, what are you giving it out of 10? What are your final thoughts?
8.
8 out of 10. Nice.
You?
So I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it was so close to being awesome. And I think there was just too much fun in games in there. Obviously, it is a kids' film, and maybe I hope kids will have more fun with it than we did. But just like cut some of that stuff out. The pacing would also become a lot better,
Oh yeah,
replace it
the
with
piece.
character.
Yeah,
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 replace it with character, get rid of those fun and games, and you could have a real solid film, the likes of, Zootropolis and Wreck-It Ralph, because those films had such good character. Like, this is like the gold standard of Disney, like new Disney for me. The gold standard is when Ralph is, flying down to the Coca-Cola mountain, and he repeats the bad, the bad speech. I'm bad and that's good, and he's holding the medal that she got him. That is what I want all Disney films to do. Like, really, really hit me in the feels.
yeah.
I love that
I
scene.
yeah, I love that stuff. Like it's it's a kids film, but it's gonna hit you hard like Wally, like
Yeah.
that. That's the
Three
stuff I.
three words. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Boom. Just perfection. Absolute perfection.
Yes, yes,
Wonderful.
I remember. Yes,
So good. So
yes,
so
yeah.
that's
So
that's Ryan and the Last Dragon.
yeah, that's
We actually
a great film to watch. I recommend it to watch, but
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I think it's
just
definitely
watch
a
it with your
fun one.
family. Yeah, watch it with your
Yeah,
family. I
I,
watched
I
it on
I
my own.
agree. Yeah, not one to watch on your own. Definitely, you have more fun with other people. And it's not our last in 3 weeks. So next week we're going to be doing Loki, first episode of Loki, and then the week after we're talking about Luca, the next Pixar film. That's coming to Disney Plus on the 18th of June, and we'll be talking about that a few days later. So that's going to be great.
Yes,
And without further ado, let's move on to
weekly viewing.
viewing. All right, so let's talk about what I've been watching this week. I know there's quite a lot of stuff that you've been watching, so I'll hand it off to you first and foremost. Tell me what you've watched.
So this week, I've read
What was
Infinite
red?
Crisis.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, Infinite Crisis. So this was written by Jeff Johns
Mm-hmm.
and other bunch of writers as well. Let me just get that because I feel like I need to give them credit as well. Infinite Crisis. Where are you? So this was, I don't know the other names. There could be artists, but I really like the art in this one. This was really good. So Infinite Crisis is set after all the other stuff that happened during the whole shebang in the DC universe. But this obviously is set after Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I did not know this. Crisis on Infinite Earths was set way before the Batman Nightfall trilogy thing. The whole thing that was before that.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so it
Wow.
was
What
there for the
was
early
it?
stuff. So
Was Crisis in Infinite Earths 89? I have a feeling it was somewhere in that realm of
yeah,
possibility.
so yeah, that was in that time period. I was like, whoa, really? I thought Nightfall was before that, but no. So quite interestingly, there was a bit in Infinite Crisis. There was like a bit like all the other stuff that happened during the years on Earth One, like Batman breaking his back by Bane, Wonder Woman killing Maxwell Lord,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and all the bad stuff that happened. So basically, the story is that there's four people that are trapped in this realm, and they want to bring back Earth Two. So there's two people who are thriving uh, to find Earth Two, but there's two people. One who is trying to save the other person who is dying very slowly, and they want some help. So this they've taken for power. So I did not know this, but there was like a prologue to Infinite Crisis called Countdown to Crisis. But you don't really need that because that's just a little bit of a background to it. But so there was a lot of great stuff that I really liked in this graphic novel, especially with the Batman moments, or and there was crazy stuff there as well. It was a lot more bizarre than Crisis on Infinite Earths, but the problem with this comic was that the storyline felt a bit evil twirly master mustache twirly. There we go.
Yeah.
Like the evil villain. Haha! Yes, I got you
Who was
now.
the villain?
I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Fair
So
enough. Fair enough.
yeah. But those, as I said a couple weeks ago, there was a really good
Wait.
characters.
I know who the villain was. It was Warner Brothers.
No. Yeah. So, as I said a couple weeks ago, I said that there was like characters returning, and I really like that. And there was a lot of very surprising stuff in there. But I have the problem with the story. The story felt like it was trying to get up with Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Mm.
but and there was a lot of problems with the characterization because in Crisis on Infinite Earths there was a lot more characterization because it felt like more emotional. Like a lot of people died in Crisis Infinite Earths,
Yeah.
and it tried to top that, but then it failed.
Mm.
So I was like, oh right, okay, and then we got to see Superboy Prime, and yeah, I thought that was a little bit interesting, but then it kind of got a bit, repetitive, a bit this and there. But I felt like okay, I can get along with this. But yeah, but there was really good stuff that I liked in there. Really good moments. The writing, yeah, yeah, I kind of like the writing a little bit, but I wish there was a lot more stuff to work on, especially with the characters and the villain. And the storyline felt a bit too cluttered a bit, but it was trying to top Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I give this a 6 or 5.
So it definitely doesn't live up to the hype.
No, it doesn't.
Do you think
I,
you'll then go on to read Final Crisis?
yes, of course, without a doubt,
Of
because
course.
the person who wrote Final Crisis was Grant Morrison, and Grant Morrison has written a lot of Batman stuff, especially there was an omnibus of like all the other stuff. So Final Crisis, and that is the art. No, the art of that looks a lot like Jack Kirby's art style. If you look on the cover it, and there's like a lot of people saying that let me see what they say. So Jack Kirby's fourth world becomes Grant Morrison's fifth world. So apparently there's like a whole thing with Jack Kirby like making worlds as well. And this looks devastating as well because on the front cover, that there's no spoilers, but on the front cover of Final Crisis, you see Batman dead and
Oh,
Superman just holding dead Batman's dead body.
wow.
So yeah, so this is going to be a very
So I'm pretty sure
yeah.
Final Crisis is the event that preludes Flashpoint. So preluding the New 52.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think so. I think it
Oh,
kind of sets those events in motion.
yeah. I'm excited to read that. So yeah. What else? Yeah. Infinite Crisis. It didn't live up to the hype, but there was really good stuff
Shame.
in the stuff as well. So 6 out of 10. That's it from me. What about you,
Good.
Tom?
Well, I've started, so as I mentioned before, I've started getting my teeth into some Spider-Man content. I've had a real hankering for some Spider-Man at the moment, and I've said to myself, I'm not going to be watching any of the films. I'm going to leave that until before No Way Home. I'm going to watch them all. We're going to do them for the pod, all that stuff. So what do I watch? And I came across because a lot of video essayists on YouTube, particularly Brown Table, talk a lot about Spectacular Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed it was on UK Netflix season 1. So I started watching it, and oh my god, it is the perfect adaptation of Spider-Man. It's amazing.
Uh,
It's one of those kids shows that is so intelligent. It has, I mean, immediately, the voice acting is amazing. Josh Keaton, who plays Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is, so good, at doing those quips and also kind of providing the emotions. I think it's episode 4 or something. There's a really amazing scene where Peter kind of ponders, whether he should continue being Spider-Man. And just in season 1, I'm at episode 21 out of 26, I think. So I'm very nearly done season 1, but you know, it's thrown so many characters in the mix. You've got loads of like Peter's friends and, like people in Daily Bugle and villains, but it doesn't feel, obviously 20-minute episodes but it never feels cluttered. They introduce and they develop villains really well over the course of the season, as well as throwing, new ones in, keeping it fresh. And they don't forget about them as well. They have them keep on coming up, and like a lot of them get arcs, and it's so good to see so many Spider-Man villains and characters done justice in such a in a light-hearted manner that doesn't ever forget about the weight of the character, and never forgets about responsibility, and all the things that I feel like some adaptations in the films have forgotten about. This never does that. It's so good. And on top of all that, the theme song is really cool, and it's stuck in my head. It'll never leave. I know that there's a second season. I also know that it got cancelled, and that people really want to see a season three. And I can see why. This show, it does so well in developing its characters. At the moment, I'm kind of looking at Flash Thompson in the show, and the show is developing Flash as a character. Something that is obviously done in the comics, but a lot of Spider-Man adaptations don't really bother doing. But it's just doing the things that you wouldn't necessarily think are important that make it so much better. It doesn't do the origin story, but it remembers, great power with great responsibility. It remembers Uncle Ben. It remembers all the things that are so vital to the character. And it's just good to get some Spider-Man content that doesn't fall flat at any point and really, really nails what the character is supposed to be. I loved it so much, and I really hope that in the future, it might be a pipe dream. I don't really know much about it, but I really hope that they make that season 3, because it would be so cool. So yeah, I've been watching that. I'm really excited to watch season 2 if I can get my hands on it. It's not on Netflix. I'll have to kind of figure out something else to do. But yeah, it's so good, and I'd recommend it to any Spider-Man fan. I think I'd give it a. Oh, I feel like I'm biased because I love Spider-Man so much.
I remember now that have you read Spider-Man Life Story?
No, I still haven't got
Oh,
it.
you should.
Yeah, I
You
know, I
should,
know.
man.
I really, really want it. You have no idea. I really do want it.
Right.
I will read
That's
it.
it. I'm gonna give you today because it's that good. I'm gonna let you borrow it because
All right.
listen,
I'll
man.
let you know when I'm finished reading Saga, because I've got a lot of that. I got the whole compendium, so I've got a lot of issues left to watch.
How much have you done with Saga?
I'm about halfway through, so maybe in a
Oh
week.
wait,
Yeah,
bro.
so in a week or so, I'll let you know, and I'll read it
I
because
want
I
to see
really
how
want to read
much.
that one.
How much is Saga on Amazon?
It's like
Saga.
it's like 30 quid, I think. But yeah,
I'll get some time later.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I do love a good Spider-Man comic though, and Life Story is the one on the top of my list to read.
Oh,
Obviously, a
it's
couple of people now have been
so
recommending it
good,
to
man.
me. Yeah.
It's so good.
Mm.
Like I have it on there, and it's just an emotional story about Spider-Man's life, and it's man,
Yeah, I can imagine. I really, really want to read it. Um, yeah, so I think as a fan and as somebody who shills Spider-Man so much and consumes so much Spider-Man media, uh, definitely going to give it a 10. I
wow.
think critically, I'd struggle to find something wrong with it, but I think I'd give it a 9. I think maybe it does struggle to find itself a little bit towards the start, but once you get going, I downloaded 10 episodes. I went away this weekend. I downloaded 10 episodes to watch, and I burnt through them so fast. And I was just like, I gotta watch more because it's so enticing. It's amazing. Love Spider-Man. Love Spectacular Spider-Man. Fans should watch it. Everyone should watch it. It's awesome. What else have you watched this week?
I'm just trying to think what else I've watched. Right. So, okay, I took down a trip on down to memory lane,
Ah,
and on YouTube, I was thinking, is the Kirby TV show on YouTube? So, if you don't know this, back
there's a
in the
Kirby
day,
TV show. What's it called?
right. So back in the day, when I was younger, like 9 or 10, on the Wii, you could get this thing called Kirby TV show, and he
Mhm.
had episodes, like so many episodes on Kirby, and it was cheap. So yeah, and I watched the whole thing, and I was like, wow, this is great. So I took down memory lane, trip down memory lane, and I was like, wow,
You took down memory lane. Like memory lane's going down.
no. But yeah, I watched it. I was like, whoa, this is so nostalgic, and like it just brings back like hidden memories about like watching the Kirby TV show, and I was like, wow, this is really good. So I recommend it. There's not a lot to expand it, but it's a really good show to get into, like if you want to explore more about Kirby, and it's quite emotional as well. There's some emotional standpoints about Kirby, where you see Farm, and like, and it's really wholesome to watch if you want to watch
Great.
some. Yeah, so it's a great anime show. And it's free on YouTube. Yeah, yeah, it's free on YouTube. You can watch it there. And there's a lot of people who really love Kirby, especially me. I love Kirby. He's a
Yeah, you
great
do.
character. And my favorite game on the Wii probably is Kirby Epic Yarn, because come on,
Yeah,
Kirby
we
Epic.
talked about that. This is, I mean, I'm blast from the past, but we talked about this on the episode, our fourth ever episode of the podcast. We did our favorite video games, and I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, and it's just that good. Yeah, you can hear about that in the video game rankings. So
Amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, Tom.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned taking a trip down memory lane because I did something very similar. I watched, so I didn't watch all of it because there's a lot. It's a long show, but I did watch what I would call the five essential episodes of Doctor Who. So obviously, again, I went away, downloaded some episodes on BBC iPlayer, and I downloaded one episode from each of the Doctors before Jodie Whittaker. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm not a fan of everything past Capaldi, but I did. So I downloaded my favorite, absolute favorites: Dalek, Human Nature, Family of Blood, 11th Hour, Heaven Sent. Best of any Doctor, all those best of all of their respective Doctors, and Human Nature, Family Blood is my personal favorite episode of all time. However,
Yeah.
they're all amazing, all incredible, had so much fun, tears, so many tears. But I want to talk about 11th Hour. I want to talk about how much 11th.
Please.
Now,
Oh no.
maybe when Doctor Who does its 60th anniversary, we'll talk about Day of the Doctor on the pod or something like that. But I don't know if I'll ever cover Doctor Who in bulk. But I just want to say,
It's
take us back to 2010, I think it was. Was it 2010 when Matt
yeah,
Smith started?
2010.
Yeah, 2010.
It was
I was
2010.
7 years old, and 11th Hour. I remember exactly where I was at a friend's house in London, and it is such a incredible episode. It reinvents the franchise
It's
for a new audience in the
yeah,
best
and
possible way.
like it has that magic. Like
It has so much magic. It's funny, still is funny. It has this fairy tale whimsy, but it is so emotional and so
the fairy tale vibe to like the magic to it, and it's just like so it's just like so much. It's I don't know why, but like watching Matt Smith, the Doctor is just like so motivational to watch because he has so many important moments. There is like it's just it's so there's so much to discover. Like to talk about Matt Smith,
definitely
Doctor, like yeah,
in
11th
his
hour.
in his first episode, he establishes himself as good, not even maybe even better than Tennant. I know that people love David Tennant, but Matt Smith is my Doctor. I will fight for him. And even season 7, I will fight for Matt Smith's Doctor Who forever. You know, there is this incredible scene where Amy has had enough, and she's like, no, this is ridiculous. She traps him to a car door, and he says, listen, I am the person I say I am, and if you don't believe that, fine, but you just gotta have to trust me for 20 minutes. Can you do that for me? Just 20 minutes. And it's incredible that they had this amazing timer which saved the world. It never, it's never boring. It's always like so fast paced, so amazing. The music by Murray Gold, every single bit, the way that it sets up the rest of Smith's arc, Silence Will Fall, all these amazing things. And his entrance at the end when he asks the Atraxi, is this world a threat? Are the people of this world capable of any, crimes for the Atraxi? Is this world protected? And he comes out, hello, I am the Doctor. Like, just the amount of nostalgia that it fuels me with. But even with the nostalgia aside, it's amazing on its own right, and I loved it. I just loved it so much. it's an incredible episode. And if anyone hasn't watched Doctor Who, it's a amazing
Yeah.
place to start.
Especially like the last episode, The Big Bang.
Oh, Big
In the
Bang's so good.
oh
It brings
that
everything full
moment, like
circle.
like it just works so well, and like like it's a full circle, and like the last episode when the doctor's like when everyone's forgetting about the doctor, and then he's talking to Amy while sleeping, like we
Yes.
are all stories in the end, and like ah
It
that's
honestly incredible. There's a bit at the end, right at the end. It does this coming soon, and it gives a trailer for the rest of season 5. And watching all of these incredible moments from the show, and watching, the best moments of what could be the best season of Doctor Who, either that or season 1, in my opinion. And then
without a doubt,
watching,
without a doubt,
listening
sorry.
to, yeah, go on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please go on. I was about to say something like really like without a doubt, I have watched every Matt Smith episode 11,
Oh,
like all 11th
yeah.
hour to the time of the Doctor. That's all the whole thing. Like every episode is just amazing. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
There's so much I love. Hearing in that end, like obviously people cry at emotional stuff, but seeing that trailer for the rest of season 5, all those amazing moments, and hearing Murray Gold's absolutely amazing "I Am the Doctor," the score, "I Am the Doctor," I just cried. Honestly, it means so much to me. I just had to share how incredible I think that Matt Smith's Doctor Who is, and one day, not now, in a while, in a few years, I will rewatch it all, and I will have
Yeah.
those feelings again. I'm not ready just yet. I'm gonna do it all. And when I say all, I mean all. Classic Who as well. I've watched so much of the classic stuff. I'm gonna watch all the essentials, all that. But
Yeah.
11th hour is just my second favorite Doctor Who story ever. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's that, and
Um.
then Human Nature. All it's so good.
Yeah. And another episode that if you want to explore more of like the weirdness of Doctor Who is the God Complex. That episode. They're in. If you don't remember this, they're in a hotel.
Oh
And
my God, season 6.
yeah, season 6, or season
Yeah.
6, and they go in this hotel, and it's weird. It shows us the weirdness of Doctor Who, and it's just great.
Mm.
It's great to watch if you want to watch something like
Well, I
if you
mean, I don't remember much about that episode, but I will say if you want to watch an episode where people are trapped, Heaven Sent, any
uh
day, Heaven Sent is an absolute gem. It's so good.
yeah, and
Love it.
it's yeah, it's Heaven Sent, like Peter Capaldi. It's like the example of like the smart Doctor Who, like
Mhm.
the smartest thing.
Capaldi is one of the best.
Yeah, Capaldi, but Matt Smith, top tier,
Can't beat
you
him.
know.
I was
Yeah.
in a couple months ago. I was in politics class, and I was wearing my Doctor Who the Experience t-shirt, and I saw a lot of people from across the room looking at me during the break, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "You got a Doctor Who t-shirt on." I love Doctor Who, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Doctor Who's great." I was talking about it, and then they were like, I stopped after Smith, and I was like, "Oh, it's a shame. Why?" And they were like, "I didn't like Capaldi," and I was like, "What? Capaldi is great. So what are you on about?" And if anyone listening stopped after Smith, or even if people stopped after Tennant, I promise you that everything from season 1 to 10, there's so much good there. And if you haven't watched
Yeah.
Doctor Who, watch it. I don't like season 11 or 12, but people do. So why? I don't know, but people do.
Yeah,
So go for it. Watch it all. It's great.
season it's great to watch. Season 10, I can't remember much of season 10. That's the season I can't really
What,
remember much.
Capaldi's final season?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got some good. The Doctor Falls is an absolutely amazing episode of TV. So good. That's the episode with the two masters.
Yeah. Oh,
So
World
good.
Enough and Time. That's pretty cool.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I could honestly,
yeah.
I could just sit here and talk about Doctor Who all week,
We
all
should
day.
do that. We should do like a
We
whole
should.
episode on Doctor Who.
We should. I'll see what's
Yeah.
coming up, and we'll kind of schedule something in. But
Yeah.
let's. Have you got anything else that you watched this week?
Uh oh, okay. What else? I'm trying to think, but I've started watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, right. Okay. A classic.
This, yeah, that's another classic to what a lot of directors and actors saying like the one of the best films they've seen,
Mm.
and I've started watching it, and it looks great. It looks great. I won't review as much, but because I've just started the film, and you can't really, you know, judge something you haven't seen fully yet. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What about you? Sorry.
that is a film that a lot of people love. It's weird. I don't know if you saw, but Zack Snyder talked about he was influenced by the Seven Samurai and Kurosawa films, and then people on Twitter started getting like talking about how those old films aren't that good just because he was talking about them. And I have to say, I don't know why that happens, but like those are classics for a reason, you know? Like there are a lot of
Yeah,
those films that are just like absolutely amazing.
yeah. Like they really influenced Hollywood
They
in
really
a
did.
very
Like
yeah.
I do not like Vertigo, but I see the influences. I see why people love the film, you know?
And yeah, and like the directors, the influence of that, and they make it better. You know, like to have those experiences
Mm.
like in the cinema, and
Oh
they
my
turn it.
God.
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer for Reminiscence?
Oh yeah,
It looks so cool, doesn't it?
yeah. Like
It
Hugh
looks like
Jackman.
yeah, it looks like Inception or something.
Yeah.
I don't know when
This
that's
is
coming
like
out, but it looks great.
yeah. Wait. Let me have a look. Hugh
Who's getting
Jackman.
it first? Who's getting it first? Who's getting it first? Who's gonna find out? Oh shit.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Ah, ah,
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
got it. 18th of
August
August.
20. Yes,
18th of August. I got it.
August 20. Yeah, I'm
Right,
excited for that.
we'll have to talk about that at some point.
Yeah, listen, I'm so excited to watch that as well
That
because
looks so cool.
like it's Blade Runner 2049 mixed with Inception.
It is, yeah. Oh, it looks so cool. I love Hugh Jackman as well.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is a phenomenal actor.
So good.
Like
He is.
Logan, if you see
Oh,
you have
Logan.
if you haven't seen Logan,
Hey,
just watch it,
wait, I
please.
can do better. I can do better than Logan. The Greatest Showman.
No,
I'm
no.
obviously joking. Please, I'm obviously joking.
Yeah.
Right, I'm talking about one last thing that I saw at cinema, and I just have to tell you, I watched Godzilla v Kong,
Oh no.
and I have an unlimited card, okay? So this was free, so I didn't pay to watch this, but
Monkey.
oh my god, it was so. I've seen every single one, and I can officially say that they get
This is the
worse.
worst one.
Godzilla's
Oh,
my favorite, followed by Kong Skull Island, followed by King of Monsters, followed by Godzilla v Kong. Godzilla v Kong was so incredibly bad. I'll
oh
give you
no.
I'll give you some positives straight off the bat. The acting's good, the CGI is good, the score's good. That's about it. The
Oh
diet
no.
the plot is so badly structured, you know. It has this whole pointless subplot which doesn't do anything other than to add exposition. The characters are better. There are two characters who actually have character. Everyone else is just exposition machines. And the one thing that you want from a Godzilla v Kong film, the one thing you want is for Godzilla and Kong to fight and it be cool. It wasn't cool. There's one shot, and it's in the trailer, one shot where Kong clocks Godzilla on the jaw in their very first fight. And I saw it and I was like, oh, this is about to get good. It didn't. The cinematography had no weight, had no scale to it. It was so
No.
flat. It was so like dead. And it was just like, I was watching all this CGI kind of wash over me, just thinking this is so bad. And it was, and everyone was excited for it, and loads of people like it. And I'm sorry, I really am. I don't understand it. I really, really hated it. It wasn't good, like at all. I can give it a 4 out of 10, and it's one of the worst films seen this year.
Wow.
It wasn't good. I didn't like it. Don't watch it. It's bad. Yeah, I know you're going to cinema later on today. Don't watch Godzilla v Kong. It's bad.
Yeah. Right. I'll add
Yeah.
that to my list.
And that is all I've watched this week. So yeah, have you got anything else?
No. But I've got other films to watch. So thankfully I don't have anything that is too stressful or work on, but I'm I'm all good. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
next week we're going to be talking about Loki. And Bad Batch episode 7. So we're back with the Marvel stuff, and then every week we'll do a Loki episode as our sub segment. And yeah, I guess without further ado, thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
If you like,
be safe. Yeah, be safe.
It's not time to be safe yet, John. It's not time yet. It's time to like if you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, comment below any of your thoughts on the films we discussed, what's your thoughts on Doctor Who, Godzilla v Kong, Ryan Last Dragon, Bad Batch, all that stuff. Comment down or email us at astimefilmpod.com. If you enjoyed and want to see more, we have another 40 pods that you can look at from the past or in the future. We've got Loki coming up, Luca, Black Widow, Fast and Furious. And you can so subscribe to us there, or follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Time Film Pod, where you can also get in touch with us there if you want. And we'll answer your questions on the pod if you do email us. And I'm Tom Bourbon on Twitter.
Comedy John 42 on Twitter.
You don't even use Twitter anymore. I don't even know why we're still saying this.
Should we try? No, okay, I think that's it. But if you want to, go ahead. Write some stupid comments. Don't
we love stupid comments.
Yes. Do we have any emails?
We don't have any emails, unfortunately, not this week.
No,
but hey, we are very nearly on 200 subscribers, which is really cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it. And our Mulan video. Remember our Mulan video, 2020's Mulan? Yes. Almost on 10,000 views.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's on like 9,800 or something.
Yeah.
So cool. Madness. Thank you everyone for that. And
thank you.
Be safe.
Be safe. Yes, wear a mask and wash your hands and do that. All that jazz. Yeah.
Do it.
But please be safe. If you want to go and see your friends, do social distance.
Yeah, and go to the cinema. Support the cinema. Do it. Watch stuff.
Buy tickets. Cinema.
Don't watch Godzilla v Kong, but watch Raya and Last Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that's it. So we will see you next week. And without further ado, take what you're given.
Get them back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.